kind of imagery comes to mind when you think of games against North Dakota? What kind of, or senses, anything?
Intensity, rivalry, a lot of history obviously goes along with the two schools. National championships, tremendous players. I mean, there's a lot of great things about both programs, and I think when you get them on the same ice together, it brings back all those memories of those players, of those games, of national championships, and the competition and the intensity in those games have always been at a playoff type of a atmosphere, and I know the fans are expecting that, we're expecting that, they're expecting that. That's why they're on the schedule. So it's going to be a fun week getting ready for them. Obviously, it's a big game for both teams, and kind of seeing where we're both at. I think we're both teams that have been talked about for national attention in rankings, and this will be a really good weekend to see where we're both at.
What do you hope your players will have taken away from Saturday's game after kind of filtering out what they need to through Sunday, through today? What do you hope sticks with them?
Well, I think, you know, we won 4-2 on Friday. I thought it was probably could have been a little bit more lopsided than that. Their goalie kind of kept it somewhat close. So I think Saturday's game going into it, we weren't sharp enough early to take the game over and let the other team know that they had no chance tonight. We gave them chances. You know, you look at the shots and you look at how the game was played, and you're still kind of, you know, confused on how they ended up winning the game. But I think there were chances early in the game for us to really, you know, get after them and not give them a chance to have hope. As the game went on, they got stronger when they looked at the scoreboard and saw they were staying tight and, you know, were able to get a couple leads at different points of the game. You could see their battle level and their intensity, especially protecting their net front. I thought they did a really good job of that, and we weren't able to fight through it. We got more tired as the weekend went on, and they found more energy, and I think that was the difference on, you know, on how we weren't able to sustain a whole lot in the third period. They didn't get much either, but their shots went in, and you know, I guess you know, every weekend you try to learn and get better from it, and you know, that's what we're going to try to focus on this week, is making sure that we have energy, you know, throughout the weekend, and we don't let teams that we should be able to take control of the games early in the games, and that's, I think, we did on Saturday.
Do you sense that Jack is maybe putting unnecessary pressure on himself, knowing that Kyle is, you know, on the bench and ready to come in whenever?
Well, I don't think so. Jack played great. Got a shutout the weekend before. You know, it's one of those games where their shots find a way to sneak through you. You know, I'm sure he's going to tell you he didn't play well enough. But he's a competitor. He was great for us all last year. He'll get back in the net at some point and be great for us again. So it was one of those games for him. It didn't, you know, pucks found ways to get through him, and he's a great teammate. He'll get ready right back in practice today and get focused on making sure he's ready for his next call.
When you first took over last June and you got to meet Ryan Wagner and then watched him practice and watched him play, what were your thoughts, and what do you think of him this year as a senior? Has that changed at all, or anything new?
Well, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a competitor that it fears nothing. He's been, I think, an outstanding leader from the day we got here, from his work ethic, from his showing up every single game, every single shift. He sticks his nose right at the net. We see him on the net front of the power play. You see him every battle along the boards. He's first one in. So he's what you would call, you know, a coach's dream, as far as he does everything the way he's supposed to from a competitor standpoint. So he's very low maintenance. You tell him something once, he's going to go, you know, through the wall for you. So he's a great example of what a college hockey player should be. And I think he's off to a great start. Puck's going in for him. But he's earned every single opportunity he's gotten, and I think that's what's nice to see. He gets rewarded for that effort and the courage that he plays with.
Did you know right away that Wyatt Kelnick was going to be a guy you could count on a power play to run the top there?
We saw him a lot last year, and we liked his mobility on the blue line. We liked his ability to get the puck through to the net. But you never know how it's going to translate to the next level. And we gave him the opportunity early, and he's passed every test we give him. He's passed. So he's a very good power play guy as a freshman, and it opens up a lot of other things for our power play because he's able to deliver the puck to the net. You know, they get that goal get taken away from him again. He's having a tough time getting that first one, but he's a and what's been really good about him is his defensive play. That's been great. So, freshman defenseman to play that many minutes and ask him to be to basically run your power play says a lot about where he's at right now.
You'll go to Grand Forks next year. What's the future hold for Wisconsin versus North Dakota, Tony?
Well, I'm going to talk to Coach Barry on Friday and see if we can keep that relationship going where we play every year. I think our fans would love it. I know our players would love it. I know I'd love it. So hopefully we can keep that going. And I think there's just too much history there to cut them off our schedule, and we both programs should be on the rise to where we can be elite teams as we move forward. So I'd like to keep them on our schedule. Hopefully they'll feel the same way.
Tony, how long did it take for you to appreciate the intensity of the North Dakota rivalry? Did you know it in the moment, or did it take you a couple of years to kind of appreciate it?
No, it was before I got here. The games and the Archibald and Newberry confrontation, should we call it, was well publicized. Everybody that wanted to be a college hockey player knew of the rivalry and the intensity between the two teams and two schools. And there's just so much there. So before we got here, everybody knows about North Dakota and Wisconsin, and it was a ton of fun playing against and playing in those games. So I'm really looking forward to being behind the bench on Friday and Saturday. I know our fans, as soon as the schedule came out, I got probably more calls on this weekend than any other game. So they will be fired up at getting them back in our building.